Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Joe Gattone with Compass in Libertyville. I wanted to explain how appraisals work and some of the things that are happening right now with the steep appreciation that we've been seeing in the seller's market and what to look out for if you're putting in offers or considering offers as a seller. So check this out. So we're going to start with the way the bank looks at things, okay? The bank has a minimum. Okay, they're not going to give you money. That's where the appraisal even comes from. All right, you're trying to borrow money to buy a house. The bank is trying to protect their asset. They don't care about you. They don't care about the seller. They don't want to give you too much money for an asset that's not worth it. Okay, so forgive the handwriting. I'm writing like straight. I'm not writing down. So check this out. All right, so this is what the bank needs. Okay. All right, we're going to draw him with a top hat because we don't like the bank right now. We're going to make him look like a bad guy. Meh. Okay. Bank. All right. Purchase price. Okay. Then we're going to do down payment. You can read this, right? You guys are good. And then what the loan ends up being. Okay. You're going to need to know what the loan amount is. It's the easiest way to do the math on this. All right, so let's say your purchase price is 100K. All right, the minimum down payment for conventional FHA, conventional 5%, okay, or 3%, depending on your credit score. FHA is 3.5% down. Those are minimums, okay? You can put more than that, okay, but those are the minimums, all right? So you're buying a loan at 100K, or buying a house at 100K, your loan is going to be 95K, or it's going to be 97K, or it's going to be 96.5K. All right. These are the loan amounts. Okay. This is the easiest way to do the math for appraisals. Okay. Because you have to work backwards and figure out what my loan needs to be at in order to still afford this house. Okay. Now, just for the shits and giggles, we're going to show you what it looks like if you're putting 20% down. Okay. Okay. So you put 20% down, your loan's only going to be 80,000. Okay. This is a 100K purchase. So check this out. What happens is the bank orders an appraisal and they say, all right, appraiser, how much is this house that this guy's trying to buy worth? What is it? Is it 100K like he wants, or is it a little bit less? So remember, this is what the bank needs. Bank necessary. Okay. So you have to put that down. If you don't have 5%, 3% of the value, you can't buy it. They will not do, there's nothing you can do. All right. So let's say the appraisal comes in at 90,000. Okay. They can't justify the 100. Appraisal comes in at 90. Now, if you have 20% down with this 90, your loan is only 80,000. Okay. So you can still buy the house for 100, put down the 20,000 you were putting down, and you can buy the house. Okay. Now, if you buy it for 100 and the bank thinks the value is 90, okay, they are not going to look at it like you're 20% down. So the advantage here is no PMI. Let's try to redo that, huh? PMI. No PMI with 20% down. So if you buy it for 100 and it's only appraised at 90, they're going to think that you have about 12% down. Okay. 80 divided by 90 equals 88%. That's LTV is what that's called, loan to value. Okay. So you're in the bank's eyes, it looks like you have 12% equity. Okay. And they're going to charge you PMI. Okay. Which is a small amount per month of your loan. At this rate, it's probably going to be like 0.3% of your loan every year, or maybe like 0.5% every year of your loan, which isn't small change. It's a lot of money. It can add up, especially over time. Okay. Now, if you're at the minimum, right? So let's say you're a seller. When you get somebody who wants to buy, let's say your house, let's say you're listed. We had this happen the other day. Let's say you're listed at 100 and somebody offers you 120K. Holy cow, that's awesome, right? But their down payment is only 5%. You know that's a minimum down payment. If the house is not going to appraise, this number might as well be 500,000 because you're going to have to lower your price to the appraised value in order for that deal to go through. And appraisals don't happen until like, I want to say like 2 weeks before closing, maybe 3 weeks before closing at the earliest. So you're going to find out you've been under contract for a couple of weeks already. You're past the inspection, past attorney review. They get an appraisal, it comes in low, and you have to lower your price as the seller. You don't have to, but if these guys don't have any money, okay, they have minimum payment down. They don't have any extra money to buff as a buffer. This guy, okay, he has a buffer. She or he has a buffer, right? So if it comes in low at 90, they can still buy it at 100. Yes, they have to pay PMI for a couple of years now, and they weren't planning on doing that. Okay, but that's a much easier ask to be like, hey, buyer, we had lots of offers. Okay, we had like 12 offers, and we had a lot of people willing to pay this money. Someone's not going to care. Someone's not going to care about the appraisal. Someone's going to pay PMI. So we're asking you to take that hit. We're asking you to still buy it at 100, even though it appraised at 90, because we know you have 20% down. You got 20 grand to put down, which puts you at 12% equity, 88% loan to value, and the bank's going to charge you PMI for a little bit. But you can't ask the guy with 5% down to do that. They can't do it, right? You're like, hey man, I know it appraised at 90. Can you bring a little bit extra to closing? I know you need your loan to be 95, so let's go through that. So let's clear the whole dang thing. Ready? So if you had minimum payment down, right? 100K purchase price, 5% down, which is 5K. Loan is 95K. Okay. If it appraises at 90, okay, in order to still buy it, you have to be 95% loan to value. That's the minimum the bank is going to need in order to do that, right? So 90 times 0.95. So your loan needs to be 85.5. All right. Now, if you still want to buy it at 100,000, that means you have to bridge this gap. Instead of bringing 5,000 now, you have to bring, what am I doing math? $14,500 down payment in order to still buy it at what the sellers wanted and what you were willing to pay. And that's because you have minimum down payment. So if you're a buyer out there, okay, you need to have as much cash ready. You should also be letting know the sellers like, hey man, we're only putting 5% down, but we actually have 10% if we need to, right? So if you had 10%, that gives you a little bit of a buffer in this scenario, 100K. If it appraised at, it appraised at like, let's say it appraises at 95,000. Okay, the loan amount that you would need in that situation is 90,000. Your loan needs to be down to 90.25. Okay, so 90,250 bucks. Okay, now to bridge that gap, right? If you have 10,000 here to put down, you're only going to put 5. You only wanted to put 5, but you have 10, and you're willing to give them that buffer and say, hey, look, we won't mess with you unless it appraises for less than 95. As long as it appraises for 95, we will bridge that gap because we have 10K. We will bridge that gap and we will put down our 9.75K to make up for that, right? So even though the appraisal came in low, 5,000 less, we're going to make up for it. We're going to pay what we got. We're still going to buy it for 100. Okay. Same thing if you're a seller. You should be considering offers that have more down payment. One of the most recent offers or recent situations we have, I'm not going to use exact numbers, but we had an offer that was much higher, right? So let's say we were listed at 100. We got 12 offers. We weren't listed at 100, but let's say we're listed at 100. We got an offer for probably around 120K with minimum payment down, 5% down. And then we got offers for like 112, but this one had 20% down. And they said they'd pay $7,000 over the appraised value, whatever it is, if they have to, which gives us, it only gives us like a little bit of a buffer, right? If the appraisal comes in at 105, right, then they would do +7 and get us to our 112K that we already agreed to, right? But if we, oh my God, the handwriting on this is terrible. But if it comes in at 100, then they would plus their 7,000 and it would only be 107,000. So that's what we agreed to. But I think we're going to be able to get it appraised pretty close to what we accepted. So we'll see how that goes. But we were considering offers that were lower. Okay. This was the highest offer right here, but they had minimum payment down. And like I said, might as well be 400,000. Give us 400,000, whatever the appraised value comes in, we're going to have to drop our price to it. So if the appraised value is 150, 140, 95, 90, like we're going to have to drop our price in order for the deal to go through. And we don't want to have to deal with that. We want someone who's willing to take the hit with PMI or bring the extra cash to bridge the gap and give us what we want, which is what you were willing to pay for, which is the definition of value. But unfortunately, the banks don't work like that. The banks need to protect their asset and they want to make sure that they're not giving someone too much money for an asset that's not worth it. So unfortunately, if you're at the mercy of the bank, that's all you can do. So that's pretty much it for today. I hope that makes sense. Put in the comments if you have some questions or if there's something maybe I'm missing, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, guys. Later.